and gentlemen, it is February 2nd, 2019. This is FAWMtalk. Welcome. I'm, of course, Juha, and with me, as always, my wonderful, excellent co-host, Mr. T.C. Elliott. How you doing, man?
Hi, how are you?
Very good. Very good.
Excellent.
Very posh. And also,
Definitely.
additionally, today we have a very, very special guest coming all the way from, I think, Germany, Mr. sw1n3flu. How are you doing, good man?
No, I'm great. I'm not from Germany, but yeah, pretty good, pretty good. A little bit further across in England, but yeah.
That's a little bit of an inside joke, so I'm sorry for that.
Oh, okay.
You were talking about weather over there, so how is the weather?
You know, British. We're trying to have winter, but it's not really that cold. -2.
Well, at least you tried.
Yeah, exactly, right. Amateur hour.
It's not all bad. It's good, like minus degrees and all that.
Yeah. I nearly slipped out, over outside, so definitely risky.
Well, that's a winter if I ever heard of one. So let's go straight into music. What do you say about that? We got a cool electronic song, kind of an ambient song here that I loaded up. And this one is, I believe, from today. It's called... I'm sorry. I have a completely wrong page open here. This is a professional, so... So for the sponsors, just keep that in mind. We're very, very much professional here. All right, here we go. This one is called "Do You Believe in Flying Saucers?" It's a song by Candle. There we go.
Even those of us who have never seen one become involved. We read about them, talk about them, wonder about these reports of strange phenomena in the sky, the feeling that these flying saucers were something out of this world, possibly interplanetary aircraft, sent from some distant celestial sphere to investigate what manner of life managed to exist here on Earth. Many of these reports, a great many of them, obviously could be discounted. Others, reports from perfectly competent, sober, and reliable observers, found no easy answer. There remained that same unexplained percentage of reliable, trained observers who claim to have seen some object or objects wheeling, whirling, zooming, slicing, or hovering in the sky. We frankly admit that we don't know whether flying saucers actually exist. We've never seen one. We are going to bring you the facts at hand. What they add up to, well, that's for you to decide. That's up to you. Still others describe them as elongated cigar-shaped things. Speed of the saucers has been estimated at from 0 to 1,200 miles an hour. And when we get into the question of maneuverability, the observers seem not to be able to find the precise or adequate words. They say that the saucers hover, accelerate, and decelerate rapidly. They say that some of the objects flutter, oscillate, drift, whirl, or float. There seems to be no fixed pattern of flight in cases where more than one or two disks have been reported. But several persons have said that in group flights, one of the disks seems to be of a distinct color, indicating, possibly, that this off-colored disk was the monitor or the control disk for the other. A small percentage of the observers said the disks were light, and in 5 cases, at points as far apart as Alabama and California, the viewer said the disks suddenly disappeared in flight. But when we get around to estimating altitudes at which the objects were sighted, we find that some observers say they saw them at 250 feet. Others guessed the disks were at 40,000 feet in the sky. While one observer estimated the number of disks seen at 100, nearly all thought the number was less than 10. And about half those who claimed to have seen the objects said they saw only single saucers. Well, these are the things men and women in various parts of the United States say they have seen in the sky. Men of science and high government officials cast a skeptical eye at these reported sightings of celestial phenomena. So far, in the course of this broadcast, there have been no reliable reports of the sighting of any new flying saucer. Frankly, we don't know the answer. We wonder, do you believe in flying saucers?
Do you believe in flying saucers by Candle? A very ominous track. Very ominous ambient sort of deal. I like the speaking part because, and especially the part of like where the references to flying saucers. Because typically these days, all you hear talk about is like aliens this and aliens that. I like this, like something quite charming about flying saucers. You don't hear that. You don't hear that phrase that many, that often these days.
Yeah, it's kind of out of date, and that that newsreel track is definitely, it seems 50s or early 60s U.S. TV broadcast quality. It's got a retro feel to it for me, which works really well, and that low end on the track underneath in the music is really cool. Helps that kind of a ominous feel, that semi-spacey feel. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, how about you? Swine flu?
Yeah, it's swine flu. Yeah, it's pretty terrifying. If I woke up in the middle of the night hearing that, I'd be screaming, I think. But you know, space exploration, aliens, bring it.
Do you think they're gonna be like when they finally go to Mars? Are they gonna be flying saucers there?
No, just beach volleyball.
I agree. No sauces there.
Hot sauce.
Hot sauce, yeah. I hope so. Perpetually.
Alrighty then. So Ben, how has FAWM started for you? Have you been? Has it been a prolific start? Has it been like about the normal, or?
I'd pitch it at medium. I basically worked all day on the first, and this morning I got up. I did a skirmish, so that's good. But you know, and I put that thing up, so obviously that doesn't count for FAWM, but it makes me feel better.
Awesome.
And you know, I've been playing around with stuff and writing little bits and pieces. So yeah, pretty good start.
Yeah,
But,
I think it's
not prolific. No.
I think it's in the little bits and pieces, and you gotta start somewhere. And you kind of, what I usually teach about momentum, especially with game development and well, anything in general, is that you have to build momentum gradually. So if you hop on a bicycle and start to and turn the gears all the way up, you can't get any speed. You can't start moving. So you have to start with a lighter gear, and then you gradually start putting more. When you gain some momentum, you can start putting in the bigger gears. So I think it's a good idea to just start with something simple, something easy, just to gain some speed.
Yeah, and just to get going.
Yeah.
And start the doing. I mean, it's easy pre-form to talk. A lot of talking going on. You know, we have a lot of fun doing that, but man, when you hit the first, you gotta actually do something.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about because
you guys are pretty well seasoned.
Well, I'm
especially good these days. You know,
I'm a good talker, a very seasoned talker.
Yeah, Slack chat man. Yeah, you're very good. Yeah.
I wanted to do.
Cool. I love it.
Many projects, but it seems like we're gonna do D&D tomorrow, so that's like a whole day of not writing anything, and not gonna be other projects, and the missus telling me to fix the roof and all that sort of thing. So
DIY in February.
Well,
all right.
Well, we'll see how it goes.
I don't know.
But I'm gonna do something, right? So TC, have you been able to make any songs today?
Yeah.
You went for a show yesterday?
What's that?
You went for a show yesterday?
Yeah. So yesterday, I ended up with 3 songs, which I just did guitar and vocal recordings.
That's a good start.
Yeah. The first one I really liked. The second one was all right. The third one I thought was a little worse, but I think I've had some pretty good comments on it, so I don't know how that's going to work. But that last one was 40 minutes from pickup to guitar till posting, so it didn't take a long time. And then my wife came home and we went and saw. Actually, we saw Romani Blue. It's they play a couple of Eastern. Not really Eastern, but I guess Middle East instruments, and play some Egyptian songs and that style. And one of the people in that is Steve Odell, who's actually a FAWMer and was on the site. So that was cool. And then it's the first time I saw that particular band. I've seen him play in other bands. And then we went out to eat, and that was fun. And this morning I got up and did one of the skirmishes. I did the one that was a little confusing, posted just a little late, about meadows, and I kind of like that song. And then this afternoon I spent a long time and actually did a full band recording and posted up the first one that's not just a handheld recording. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, probably 5 songs up already. So I don't know what you're talking about, this starting slow and building up momentum kind of crap that U-Haul was talking about.
No, but TC, like we talked yesterday, you write all year long, so you have the momentum. So you're hitting the road like running. I don't know. It's not with me. I'm starting to write like February 1st. So it's like maybe 2 notes today, additional 4 notes tomorrow, and we'll see how it goes.
Up to a whole line on Thursday.
Oh my! Right. These earbuds are the most uncomfortable things I've ever. I don't know where I got these, but these are god awful. So, like putting dice in your ears.
Yeah, you may have noticed if you look at Ben, he's got these nice headphones on over the ear headphones, and if you look at TC, nice headphones, and if you look at Yuha, oh look, he has a good pair right there and just refuses to use them.
Can I just say, your instructions told me to do this?
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that it's the right thing to do.
Oh my goodness!
He's
complaining about something he gave instructions about.
Listen, it's not that you need to have specifically over-ear headphones. It's the important thing is that you can't hear the talking through the microphone. Anyway. I've had these for quite a while now. I've had this for about a year. these Audio Technicas, and these are like €150 headphones. But these are kind of tight. They make I think they are making my jaw hurt like a lot, and they kind of like press my ears really hard. So I'm thinking I'm maybe selling these in the near future and getting something else, but I'm not very happy with these. The sound quality is excellent, but
that does beg the question, though. Are the headphones tight, or is the head big?
well, it doesn't really matter, right? So you just gotta get a fitting pair. It's not like I'm wearing children's jeans.
Don't want to know.
Goodness. I don't know where he was going with that, but yeah.
Yeah, anyway.
Anyway.
What was I going to say?
Oh.
There was like something I wanted to specifically say about the Egyptian
momentum?
thing. It sounds very interesting because you don't hear that much
cool.
like some sort of Egyptian type of music during FAWM.
Yeah, and this was a performance. Obviously, it wasn't written in FAWM or for FAWM, and I don't know how much Steve writes in that style, but it was really cool to go and listen to. Definitely the melodies are different than I'm used to listening to, so it's kind of cool to have like we were talking on yesterday's show about having different experiences outside of FAWM and songwriting. That's one of the things that is kind of cool, that it's music related, a little different out of my normal listening, but I could definitely see how that could come in, and I could do something a little less normal TC and out there. So
I gotta say, and I promise this is completely accidental, but we kind of look like Daltons on the screen. Like I'm the tall one, and then you got TC and Mr. Ben is just like way down there.
It's true. I'm slouching down. Plus, I'm not that tall anyway, so.
I gotta like it's
right.
It's a weird situation. The cameras, it's a hard thing to balance those. I promise you, I did the best I could.
It looks fine.
It's all right.
Very professional.
It's okay.
The sponsors know that it's definitely good.
Who the heck are the sponsors? I reckon it's Pritzker, personally.
Well, we're looking
don't
into
have any yet.
We're looking into getting some like.
Brought to you by Pritzdick.
No, don't do that. Come on. We're looking to getting sponsored by some.
Oh, right, real ones.
Yeah, like tuna companies, and maybe like.
Well, like bluefin.
Yeah.
Or yellow.
There's something fishy about that story.
Oh yeah, I'm so
Speaking of professionalism, TC, I've asked you to prepare some questions for our honored guest. Do you have like something you could maybe pop out there? I'm typically the one moderating the conversation, but like you can't just jump in there and just,
No.
There you go. This is gonna be good.
I've got lots of questions.
I got questions. I'm kidding.
I've got
So let's
questions.
do a lightning round.
Lightning round? Well, I don't know if these are lightning questions, but I do have a few. One of them is, do you collaborate very much, either on FAWM or off of FAWM, Ben?
Only with close friends, so not in the real spirit of FAWM.
Is it do you typically do live collaborations if they're friends? Is it like in the same room type of things, or do you do bits and send them? How does that work?
It's a bit of both. So we've been doing some band stuff recently with this thing I'm in called Good Guys Sajabe, and most of the time we meet up and record, but one lives in Cardiff, one lives in Bristol. I live in Reading, so no one's anywhere near each other. I mean, we're not talking about massive distances, but enough to make it a pain. So one will prepare something, send it, and everyone else will work on it.
Sure.
I kind of like that. It's really old school. Because I don't get
not
to
quite
play
4-track collaboration, but
yeah. But I don't get to play nearly as much with like real people as it like. It's typically just doing stuff over beats, so it gets boring. I tell you, it's not what music is all about for me. But it's the situation for me now, so definitely
Yeah, but it's FAWM, so
like to.
change it.
Yeah, but you haven't spent like a lot of time with me, so you don't know how it is.
Or you're saying it's you, it's not the system.
What? Yeah. I'm one of those people that when you have a person like me in a band, the other members of the band are like, listen. So when are we gonna get rid of that guy? It's not even because I'm a bad player. I'm just very intolerable.
Yeah, I've seen you. You've got skills, man, for sure.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Do you rock up drunk every day? Is that a problem?
No. I'm just annoying.
Can't even blame the booze. Okay.
Can't even.
I mean, yeah, it's just something wrong with the upbringing. I'm gonna blame my mom. It's probably my mom.
That's rough, dude. But all right.
That's
Okay.
yeah.
It's a great question.
Yeah. Didn't mean to take you there. I'm sorry. So what? So Ben, what would there be incentive, or what would it take to do more collaboration on FAWM? Is it just the process? Is it just the way it happens?
Well, so I was thinking about this the other day. I tried to do a morph about 4 years ago, and I didn't do it, and I got hounded. I think it was Helen was hounding me, saying, "Dude, seriously, you're gonna send me your stem? Where's the thing?" I was like, "I don't know." And then I just said, "I can't do it. I'm not feeling it." Blah blah blah. And I ended up writing a song about the fact that I'd failed to do it. So it's always productive, but I don't know. You know, maybe I should just try harder. You know, keep going for it.
There you go.
I think the doing is the important thing, right? You keep trying and actually working your way through it, and if it sucks, it doesn't matter. You just go on to the next thing, and eventually, like, actually, that's where it's working. I'm clicking with these people, trying this out. It's all good. Yeah,
that's what I've been thinking, like doing, just putting out stuff, because I've been kind of stuck with just trying to get my songs done, and the electronic stuff is really taking its toll on me. Because it's not my forte. I would much rather be doing like heavy metal stuff, because I've been doing that forever, so it just comes out naturally, and I can just put out a song like that. But with electronic stuff, it takes a lot of thinking. It's a real process. So now I've been thinking maybe I'll just put out like something, and it's a song that's out there, and then I can do something with it later if I feel like it.
Yeah, that's. I think there's a balance there, but we kind of talked yesterday about inspiration and staying positive and how to not get burnt out, and I think that's all part of it. I mean, there's times when
that happens.
Yeah, definitely. And there's times when I've collaborated a bunch and it's been great. And then there've been times when it's very hard for me to collaborate. And one of the things I've done in the past is checked out the lyric posts, and then I can collaborate that way. It's not really a live collaboration or even a back and forth. So the lyric is basically done or is done. And then I try to put it to music. And if I need to make changes, I contact them, say, can I do it? Or do you want to revise it? So there's a little bit of interaction, but there's not that much. It's, lyric, then music. And then once I've done that sometimes will get me into where I will collaborate more for that FAWM or that 5090 than I did before. But it's definitely, even for, like, I've collaborated a lot in the last year or two, and it's still, so far this year, it's hard to get going with it sometimes. It's one more layer of, I don't know if it's self-doubt or lack of confidence on what's going on through the process to keep you from being creative. And like Ben was saying, the biggest thing is just do it. Just be creative, and anything that takes away from that can be hard to overcome.
Yeah, definitely.
So.
I guess the important thing is that you don't keep looking stupid from taking you to places. So you gotta just like do it. Just like the Slack bot would say, just do it. And of course, these things, they go in waves. So you're gonna have slower times. You're gonna have times when you feel a little bit down, but then you're gonna be taken to another portion of the whatever you call it, like the energy. you get more energetic about your music, and you start feeling like, hey, I could do this thing, I could do that thing, and you self-doubt less. I think there are definitely some sort of phases that you enter during even FAWM. Like you can get multiple phases where you feel more comfortable with things, and where you might doubt yourself more and just do less cool stuff. Because all of us, we're capable of making cool stuff. We just have to like grab it and do it. Just do it.
Yeah,
Well,
definitely.
I'm expecting you to break out your guitar then and shred. It's happening.
Probably, maybe.
Just to blow the cobwebs off, and then you'll be like, okay,
I'm
I'm at
planning.
my keys. I'm ready.
I'm planning on doing it, but we'll see. I'm not feeling it right now, but maybe like just 7 days from now, it could be like that's all I'm doing. Who knows?
Okay.
Let's go for another song. This one is called Disassembly. It's actually called Disassembly.sh. This is a very cool song by Mr. Szymanski. It's very mechanic sounding song. I like it very much. So Disassembly.sh.
It's decompiling. Decompiling. It's unwrapping. Reconstruction. It's never ending. It's a cold smell. Assaultated. Abominating. Recomplicated. Unconstitutionally.
Disassembly.sh by Szymanski. Kind of an odd little track. I like that very much. I was listening on Spotify. There was recently released a soundtrack for I believe it's for a documentary series called The Valley of Boom. And it's very much this sort of, you start to think about those old printers and the kind of sounds those old machines make. Very, very that sort of rigid, robotic sounds. And this one reminded me a lot of that.
Yeah, the old dot matrix printers. There were videos of them doing weird things several years back.
Oh,
before
yeah,
they went
yeah.
obsolete. Yeah, and I didn't make that.
Okay.
I just I didn't make that connection, but now that you say it, definitely.
Now I was going to say or that thing that someone did with the hard discs, or was it the disk drives where it was playing like Star Wars music?
Yeah.
So it's very mechanical but musical at the same time. It's that kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
And it's a cool sound. It's like nothing you hear today.
Yeah. Yeah.
But back then it was like all you would hear.
Definitely.
I can almost hear it now.
Sweet. It was definitely an enjoyable track. Something a little different. Has that unique sound to it.
I expected it to get harder, to be honest. I thought it was going to be an elevation and just like a real smack in the face.
Yeah,
But it was
little,
nicely short and sweet at the same time.
short and sweet. It was a nice little taste.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Ben, I was actually going to ask you a little bit about your creation process. How do you typically start a song?
So, the most successful way for me, I think, is if I'm distracted, and often if I'm watching another band, I will suddenly click in and start being able to write some things that I want to write, rather than just forcing myself to do it. So, I found myself doing that recently at a few gigs, but obviously that was before FAWM. So, for this thing, it's just whenever something comes into my head, try and make a note of it, and then when I sit down, try and use that stuff to formulate something. But to be honest, I start with the guitar. I'm not a lyrics first, I'm a music first person. Today's skirmish was literally just get the iPad out, wherever the hell it is, and see what happened. And it was just to get on the board, to be fair. It wasn't particularly, up there for me, but it was important to start and to at least have a bit of fun and muck around with various instruments. Because once you get in the flow, then it just becomes easier. And when you're channeling something, it just comes out.
So, what type of ideas do you write down? What do you typically? What are the things, like literally, what have you written down?
All right, let's see. Hold on. Grab my phone. Oh yeah. Oh, that's weird. So literally, I was thinking about how you compartmentalize your. Sometimes you kind of play people against other people, or you get played, and people compartmentalize the feeling. But I changed the word compartmentalize to compartmental lies. So I wrote that down. But that's not really a lyric, that's just an idea. And then for some reason below it says weekend, but it's spelled WEAKEND. So those are the most recent. That was Friday, so that's FAWM stuff. But
That's cool.
sometimes it's more nice than that,
Oh, how would you?
Accidental intimacy. There you go. I saw a husband and wife. I was playing poker, and he reached back because he's actually got a week back. He was sat down, and he grabbed her ankle, and I thought, oh, accidental intimacy. They shared a little moment. How the hell that's going to become a song, I don't know.
Well,
But that's
how
the kind
would
of thing
you?
we write down.
How would you proceed
Oh,
from there?
That's the kind of stuff I should be looking at, and thanks for reminding me. I hadn't actually thought about that till just now. How would I take that? Let it gestate for a while. Think about it. I'm not going to sit there and just write a load of garbage, because they'd probably be just rhyming for the sake of rhyming. I'd rather try and write something that's worthwhile. But often I give up on that and just churn something out. So I've got 2 lines up behind this computer that says no improvisations and drums. But about the drum stuff, right? So I'm not doing any one take improvs this time. I decided,
Oh,
which is what I end up doing normally. I just spat a load of rubbish, and it comes out all right. But I think I can do better than that, maybe.
well, you have typically just improvised?
Often the last couple of years, especially 50/90, just hit record, play some riffs, sing some stuff. It comes out almost as a coherent song. If it doesn't, I don't upload it.
Well, I'd say it was your stuff is typically
yeah.
like very, very good.
Well, it's very raw, maybe, but but yeah, I mean, thanks.
That's a cool way of going about it. So you have one of those phrases or something that you've written down. When you go to work on it, do you pick up an instrument and try to play and then put words to it? Do you try to get? I mean, I guess walk me through that just real quick.
Yeah.
Where
Well,
you've sat down and have a phrase. Where do you go next?
I would say the acoustic guitar on that side. So the one next to the yellow Telecaster. That's kind of like the guitar I've had for like 20 plus years. So play on that, see where I'm going. Usually something comes out. You know, if there's an emotional connection, it'll flow quite quickly. So and typically if I've written something down, there's been a reason for it, and then I'll try and write it out, or I type it as well. I also type on the computer. It doesn't really bother me if it's handwritten or typed or whatever. But I have to. The reason why I did so many it used to be tape demos, but so many demos on the voice memos is just so I don't lose something. But I don't usually take it that far. Spin tunes, as you know, has been pretty helpful for that over time. So I like the time pressure of FAWM.
Yeah.
And the encouragement from everyone's obviously brilliant too. But you know,
Yeah, definitely.
knowing you need to keep going.
So when you sit there, you've got a prompt or something that you've written down or have a phone. You've picked up the guitar, you start playing. You get the musical idea. Will you work with the lyric right away? Do you write it as you're going, or do you try to write more or less the music and then the lyric, or how?
Okay, I see what you're saying. So I'll probably have an idea for what it's going to be about, at least with a title or some sort of emotional connection, and then find the kind of musical thing I want to achieve. I don't know. I don't want to just be playing standard chords, so I try and do something a bit different, and then usually record a rough version of it, and then and then listen back to it and see, you know, which bits were satisfying, and then take those and then transpose them into something, and then at that point is really when I want to structure the drums. For me, it's becoming more and more apparent that if I don't have decent drums, the song just kind of ends up a bit on the
I know what you mean. Yeah, drums are so essential. They really are the backbone of a driving. Well, I don't want to say beat because it's becomes kind of like duh, but they just
I know what you
drive
mean.
the song. Yeah.
So, but you know, like when you're jamming with people, you have a nice back and forth, and usually you click at some point. So it's almost trying to get to that point on your own, which is trickier because you have to do it all yourself.
Yeah.
Right? You have to think up the idea of the music and remember what it is that you're trying to do, and then how you think about the beat. And then when you go to do it, you're like, I've forgotten how the music goes. So it's trying to make sure you get to that point before. So I've played along to guitar demos before. My drum kit's in a garage, and you know, sometimes it works, sometimes it's a complete just a joke. But I think it's the bit that kind of elevates the song to the point where you go, all right, and now I need to replace this bit, or that bit sucks, or we definitely needs more accent there. And if you're trying to, for me at least, when you're trying to do it on a computer, the drum element is a little bit more tricky. I've never been that great at programming drums. Got better, and the software in general has got better, but you know.
I actually was pretty good at programming drums because I used to write a lot of MIDI music way back in the day. But these days, because I started with drums originally when I was 6 years old, my dad was a drummer, so I started playing drums. So what I've always wanted is like something that I can physically play like drums. So you get into the groove a lot easier if you can just like play something. So what I do nowadays is I have my MIDI keyboard and I just play the keys with my fingers, and that's at least something. Like I can do a kick drum and the snare and have a little beat with those, and after that I overdub with hi-hats and cymbals and that stuff.
Right.
So that works for me. So it's a nice way of doing things. Actually, in chat, Amanda Williams was saying that it's FAWM release about creation and not always the finished product, which I think is a great thing to remember. So
Absolutely.
Very similar to I did successful NaNoWriMo. How do you say that in English? NaNoWriMo.
NaNoWriMo.
Yeah.
I never knew how to pronounce that. Okay.
That's so weird. NaNoWriMo. But there the whole idea is that you do a first draft and then you start editing it or writing the second draft. And I think with FAWM, it would be great if I could get into that state of mind. Just doing something and putting out like a ton of stuff, and I can then just pick up the gems and process them further.
Yeah, that's kind of where I've gone the last year or two is, and we talked about it yesterday, but a lot of handheld mic, just a little recorder, guitar, vocal. Usually the first time I've played the song all the way through, post it, and then like when I listened back to my 50/90 songs, I was surprised. There was a few that I knew that I would like, but I was surprised at how even the ones that are probably not keepers, because I was just focused on the elements of the song and not the performance, I think I did a better job writing. So even the ones I wasn't going to keep are, I think, a little better quality. So now, but the point now is I have to make myself actually pick and choose and do production and do something with them, or, you know, they're just going to sit there.
That's really interesting. I'm often thinking like, how could I do a really quick take of something? But I've actually done that quite a bit. Like with we talked about Satellite yesterday, or one of those days.
Yes.
So how I did that one was I first wrote down on Notepad on Windows that I wanted the song to be 47 minutes. That was the first thing that I wrote down. Then I started writing down the names of the, I guess you can call them movements, and then I wrote how long each movement was going to be. And what I did after that was I started just singing and like having beat and like and just recording that. And I hit record and did that for the first section, and after that I hit record and did that for the second section, and so on. So I was just like trying to have these mental images of like what I want the song to be, and try to get into the emotional state of having that sort of feeling in my singing or melody or whatever. And after I had the whole thing done and everything was like correct length, then after that I started to do the MIDI orchestration on top of the singing melodies. So like I've done and this, I did the exact same thing for the Synthwave album last year, where I just sang the whole album like at first, and then started writing the MIDI parts on top of that. So like that's a very quick way of just doing whatever. I mean, I would play them on a piano or something, but my relative pitch is just horrible, so I can't do that. I can't improvise. Like the dream would be to just like being able to play your ideas immediately on some instrument. And some people can do it. I guess a lot of people can do it, but it's beyond me.
That's interesting. I watched a video of it was a recording of Michael Jackson in a court case when he was being sued, and he actually went through his process, and he could not read music or play much of any instruments, and so he would actually sing into a tape recorder and do he would do the drum beat, and they'd recreate it, and he would record him multi-track himself to get the chords he wanted. So he would literally do one tone and do it for 8 bars, and then do another tone, and that I would never be able to do that. I mean, that's taking what you're talking about to the next level, but it shows what kind of genius he was, completely untrained, which is weird that he was in the music industry as long as he was, and to be that untrained and was able to do that. And like for me, typically it's like pick up the instrument, see what comes out. Oh, I like that, let's develop that, as opposed to more of a classic composer, Beethoven, sitting down, writing the music down, and then going to an instrument, which is a lot closer to what you were just describing, where you're coming out with it on an audio way, and then going to an instrument and figuring it out or developing it. That's a really, to me, that's a unique way of doing it. And I'm sure you're not the only one, obviously, but that never occurred to me to really do it that way. And that's really cool.
I'm thinking like perhaps if the technology was available for the composers like Beethoven, maybe they would have done something similar. But of course, they were also geniuses at playing music. So maybe that was completely unnecessary for them.
Yeah.
But for me, the important thing is in that process is that I can get into the feeling of the song, so I can just feel where the song needs to go, and I can just let it all out without having to concentrate on external things like what key is this on, or what notes I'm writing on, or on the program, how am I going to do this item on top of this. And I can just concentrate on what the song needs to be.
That's really cool, being able to organize it. I think we all have to be organized on some level. And like Ben was talking about earlier, sometimes he uses the computer to type. I always use the notebook, and it's me when I can't write it down and actually write it down, and it gives me time when I'm writing this line. My creative process is going to the next line. So I think I quoted somebody saying there is as many ways to write songs as there are songs. No two songs are exactly the same, and I think that it's kind of what being creative is. It's finding that way. So I am interested, though. You were talking about how you were doing the drums with the MIDI keyboard, which is kind of how Platt was showing me on one of his videos way back when we were doing some stuff, and doing the keyboard. And I was kind of wondering, with Ben, you said you had a kit in the garage.
Yeah, right.
So are most of your drums live? Are you playing the kit and recording them? Is that how you go about doing it?
I haven't done so far, but as I said last week, it's time. So.
Okay. So it's mostly, in the past, it's in computer?
Yeah, it's been computer, but last FAWM, there was one track which was a room recording with the band and me, and it felt a lot better, So yeah, the idea is to kind of do that, even if it's only basic. I mean, I've got a cajon in here. I've got stupidly, I haven't used it much, but I've got like the kick pedal that goes with a cajon, which means I guess I can bring like a hi-hat and a snare and something else, and I can basically have a smaller portable drum kit. So maybe I'll give that a go. I don't know.
Sweet.
That's cool.
Yeah. All right. I've got to use all this kit we buy.
Yeah, definitely. I actually have a DM6 electronic set that I just used today to drum. I've got a $65 kit off of Craigslist that's awful. It's terrible, but at least there's real things to hit, real drums. Yeah. And I've never recorded it. It's going to sound awful because they sound awful, but I'm going to do that at some point. But I can plug the electronic kit into the computer, and I can use Superior Drummer or Easy Drummer 2 and actually play.
You're doing the trigger thing, right?
Yeah. So that I've only done that a couple of times, and it's been a long time ago. So I'm thinking about maybe doing some of that. But typically with my process, I'm just using the loops that I find, either with Superior Drummer or whatever, and then I'll
right.
edit them.
I always thought you were playing them.
No, very seldom.
Okay.
Very, very rarely. If I was that talented, oh goodness. But I did. There was one. You brought up spin tunes, but I did play the one, the third challenge where you had to do a musical genre different than.
Yeah. We did
and I
like
did
Moby
that
or something.
Yeah,
You
yeah, and
rap,
I did.
yeah.
Yeah, which was awful. But that beat I did myself, and it was
Okay.
so bad. So I played it, and then I had to cut it down and just loop it because I could only play in time for a short amount. But that was the electronic set. So I'm kind of getting to that a little bit different now. But one of the things I like is with those loops, I only have a small number of loops, but I'll just edit them down. So if the bass is in the wrong spot, if the kick is in the wrong spot, I'll move it over and then create my own loop from that. And you can do it audio as well. It's easier MIDI just to go in there and move it around and cut and splice. And then once I get that, I'll repeat that and then do fills and stuff like that. So you can be really creative, but like what Yuha was saying, he's got a kind of like he grew up with playing the drums. I'm trying to kind of learn a little bit now. I'll never be proficient, but enough to get the ideas down. And it really does change, like the rhythm feel that you put with the song can change the song. If nothing else changes, just the drums, it can, like you were saying, where you need the climax or where you need the fills or what you do, that can completely change almost the genre of the song based on that rhythmic element. And that's really something I'm just now getting into, really expanding and seeing what I can do with that. And sometimes it's subtle and sometimes it's dramatic, but that's really interesting to me, how you guys do rhythm tracks.
So playing drums really changes how you view music. Because I've played drums, like I said, drums were one of my first instruments, so I played them my whole life, and it's been like I was teaching guitar for little kids and not so little kids, and it was kind of strange to me sometimes how they struggled a lot with rhythms, like just even very basic rhythms where you do like maybe 8 notes, and it was strange to me. But I realized that I've been playing drums for so long, so it just comes natural to me, all the rhythmic things with other instruments. So it definitely changes the way you see other instruments and how you'll be able to do like weird creative things with those instruments, weird rhythmic things, and it definitely helps. And I don't think it's like too late for you. It doesn't take that many years to get proficient with drums. So don't lose your hope, man. Just keep playing.
You'll be rivaling Sapient soon. Don't worry.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I was I talked about the last song I just posted. It was actually guitar tracks that I was practicing drums to in January, and then today I finished off and made a song out of it. And the drum track that's with it is one take with 2 little edits in it, just for timing issues towards the end. So, and the sounds aren't great because they were the built-in sounds to the electronic kit, and it's not a very good kit. So the sound itself isn't great. But it could be a little tighter, but I was really impressed. For the first time in a couple of years that I actually played live drums and tried to play it like through a song and keep it. I did 2 takes, and I ended up just keeping 1 take. I was
happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, from where I was even 2 months ago, to do that is a lot of progress for me.
Cool.
But just hitting things is so much fun, you know. Like it's the most fun musical thing I've ever done in my life is playing drums. Even badly, even poorly, it's still way more fun. Yeah. So I'm kind of addicted to it. I'm being a little cautious on how far I take it. It's like, I'm not going to leave my crutch in my MIDI program quite yet. So
all right, let's go to our next song. This one I kind of spoiled for our guests. This one is by Valerie Cox, And of course, TC immediately recognized the style, but here we go. This one is called Bigger and Better.
I wanna go. I wanna see. I wanna flow. I wanna be. I wanna feel. I wanna know. There's gonna be something bigger and better than me. Oh, Lord, don't take it slow. Dive into the river and follow where it goes. Oh, show me everything. Take away my demons, take my breath and set me free. There's gonna be something bigger and better than me. Oh, I wanna take. Oh, I wanna give. I'm not gonna break. No. I'm gonna live. Yeah. Won't wait for tomorrow to plant the seed. Oh, there's gonna be something big, high, better than me. Oh, no, no, don't take it slow. Dive into the river and follow where it goes. Oh, show me everything. Take away my demons, take my breath and set me free. There's gotta be something bigger and better than me. There's gotta be something bigger and better than you and me.
Bigger and Better by Valerie Cox. A very energetic song. I love that one.
Yeah, I love her style. She's got that kind of bluesy vocal, that sultry, raw, powerful, all one package vocal, and just about everything she sings is excellent. Yeah, she's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, come on. That's a voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds effortless, but I'm guessing, you know, that's just what she's channeling. Great.
When you got that kind of talent, it should sound effortless. That is just great.
Yeah. Yeah, she's done some collaborations with Helen and in the past that are pretty cool, and a lot of her solo stuff. Like that was an acoustic track. She'll do electric track. She's one of the FAWMers that's taken up drums in the last couple of years, which I had forgotten all about. So that's pretty cool too. So, yeah.
Man, all this talking about drums, I wish I had drums.
I'm sure there's a music shop around the corner somewhere.
Yeah, but where? That's the thing with drums. Like, where do you put them? Even if my neighbors were like the best, even if my neighbors were the best people on earth, I don't have the room for them. They would have to be in the bathroom.
You don't need a bath. It's fine.
Right.
Yeah, that's funny. It's called bathroom.
You don't need a kitchen.
We have a
Just lay
sauna.
out. It's fine.
We have a sauna, so they could call it
Right.
sauna. I don't need to use the sauna.
Would an electronic
drum room.
would an electronic kit work for you? Would that be better than nothing?
Well, no. I mean,
Wow. Brutally honest.
I would get one if I could fit it here, but it's not gonna happen. We've been living. This was a small apartment when we moved here, and we've been living in this apartment for 10 years. So it's like kind of full. It's not the worst I've ever seen, but it's not good.
That's funny.
I can.
No, they do make the small, compact electronic kits, but
Yeah.
you still have to have them somewhere.
Like, I like the
Yeah,
sauna
I agree.
ideas. Just put them in sauna and play them while you're in sauna. So.
Double sweat.
Yes, exactly. It's my one of my friends was kind of surprised at how sweaty you get when you play drums. That is the best workout I've ever done. Just playing drums for like a couple of hours.
Yeah, it's tiring, and you're sore the next day
Yeah,
if you're not used to it.
definitely.
Yep.
All right then,
Agreed.
we're over 60 minutes. How does the time fly when you got like interesting people to talk with?
Oh, you know. Drums has been the reason, I think, tonight.
Drums. Wow.
We talked about drums. You thought you'd think we'd keep track of time a little better, but guess not.
Oh, boo.
It's a drummer joke.
Oh, that's
Oh
great.
goodness.
Well, I want to thank you very much, Benjamin, for being our guest tonight. It was kind of last minute for me, at least. Nobody told me, but we made it work. We made it
I
work.
gave you 45 minutes notice. That was pretty good.
That was pretty. It was like for me, it was very good, very generous. But I loved having you here. So maybe if we're doing
Been
this
great.
like next year, we can have you again.
I forgot this was a FAWMcast type thing. Just chatting to you guys. You know, like having a laugh.
Sweet.
It was about
That's
songwriting.
what we like.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And we'll be back Monday.
Really?
I'm gonna say Monday.
I love it.
Oh yeah. Monday the 4th at 5 p.m. Central is what it says.
Holy, that's great.
You're going to start kicking in the genre stuff then.
We got a pro here. It's just telling the times of people. Yeah, I gotta learn that. One day.
Might be subject to change. I don't know. We'll put a thread up and let everybody know.
Watch out for snow.
All right.
Right.
Yeah. Chat will tell us everything. Chat will tell us what to wear, what to eat, and eventually what to play. I mean, of course, we're not gonna be picking our own songs. We're just gonna have like chat do everything for us. That's gonna be great.
Who's Chad?
He's the guy, like, the producer. Anyway, thank you. Thank you,
yes.
everyone, for listening today. And for our last song, we have here a very, very nice song by Hamilton Pool Hall. Pool Hall. And this one is a song called Gone, Gone Away. So thank you again, and we'll see everyone later.
Bye.
Yeah.
Clock in early, clock out late. You carved my name on the factory gate. But all your love's gonna have to wait. Gone, gone again. Dream so close, dream so far, flickering like a lucky star, trapped inside of a mason jar. Gone, gone again. Gone again. Gone again. Gone again. Fading slow like a dying sun. Feels like I'm the only one holding the fort with a rivet gun. Gone, gone again. again, gone again, gone again. Out of oysters, out of pearls, out of irons, about to hurl right over the edge of this flat old world. Gone, gone again. Clock in early, clock out late, carve my name on the factory gate. All your love's gonna have to wait. Gone, gone